And what up everybody, I'm Magic here, welcome to part 8 to What If Deku Had a Leveling System, and now, let's get to the intro.
I'm not the one you wanna fuck with. Late nights messing up my sleep, so I'm flustered. Taking out aggression with my pen because I trust it. Right in front to get myself a lamb color cuss for the game. Leave him hanging by his chain. Click bang, feeling rage, feeling fire in my brain, feeling insane. And it's slowly feeling flames, moving fast to my brain, bringing more faith, no glory.
Okay guys, I am so tired. I didn't even sleep last night, and I still haven't slept yet. So I've been basically getting through the day from sugar and all that stuff, and I'm trying to stay awake, and I'm doing this video while I'm basically half asleep. So if I basically doze off half of this video, don't really expect anything much out of me. But I will only be recording one video today because I don't really have the energy to record more than one video today, so sorry about that. And tomorrow I think I will do about like 2 videos. I'm not promising you guys, but it's somewhere near 2 videos or 3 videos. I might be able to do that because I'm basically using a new editing software, and I'm not that used to it, so it takes me longer to edit a video now. But in my previous one, I had everything saved, like the intro, the outro, the green screen, and there's also the images and the clips, everything saved, and it was just easy access to me. But this time, if this is like a new editing software, it's really hard, and it's basically it's better because I actually use my PC now. Before I just used my Mac, but now it's my PC, and I had to get a different software because the one that I use on my Mac doesn't really have a PC version of it. So I'm gonna stop talking about that, and let's get to the story. Okay guys, before we actually get to the story, I would like to tell you guys this was like 30 likes on a comment, and there were like multiple names in this comment for Deku's hero name. So I just chose the one that I really liked. It was basically, it's pretty simple, but it's still one of the best ones, and it got 30 likes. That was like the highest likes comment of the hero name, so I chose Black Knight as a hero name. And one last important thing about the Stain arc that I accidentally missed, I forgot to mention this, but Deku does basically revive all the Nomus that he did end up killing and Endeavor ended up killing. So all the other ones that had like absorption abilities just like the Nomu, but this one had like, he was bigger than the normal Nomu, that the first one, and his brain was more exposed, and he didn't really have eyes. He basically turned him into his servant. He also turned the Nomu that had wings and stuff. Now he has aerial combat and stuff like that. So he has a lot of weapons now. All the Nomus that attacked there, he basically took control over them and basically made him his pawns. So that was an important part that I forgot to mention, and I just realized that after watching the previous part, and because I watched the previous part before I actually create the part, so I knew what I said last time, and so I can actually talk about what happens next. Anyways, so actually let's now get to the story. So last time we left off, the internship arc just finished, the Stain arc also finished, and the dog, or the chief of police, basically comes, or the chief of law or something, basically comes and tells that was really dangerous. So the credit's gonna go to Native and Endeavor. Native's basically popularity actually increases a lot, but not that much because most of the credit actually went to Endeavor. So after this, basically Deku, everyone in class 1A were really shocked at the Stain incident that was basically happening, and there were clips all over the internet about like Deku, Todoroki, Ida, and Endeavor. They were all there basically fighting Stain, and Stain actually took down a Nomu, and there was also an image of basically Deku basically controlling the Nomu around and turning him into his pawn and stuff. So it was going around the internet and stuff, so everybody was asking about who's this kid, what's his power, he's pretty strong, it's pretty cool. And basically Deku's some sort of a an internet sensation in like the dark world or dark internet where all the villains are at. Because the video that was basically leaked, it was like a villain video. It was Stain's video and basically explaining everything about it. So only like covert or spying heroes and who basically spy on the mafia or underground or underworld, and basically the underworld people know of this video. and they basically seen it. So the final exams basically happen. They go through the written exam. Deku does amazing. He is smarter because he has more intelligence, and because of that he has more magic. So let's move on to the teacher versus student matches. Everybody else does the same. Now this time it's Bakugo versus Deku and Bakugo versus All Might. All Might had weights on him. He has double the weights on because he's All Might and he's the #1 hero. So of course he has double the weights on. So he basically gets ready. He throws a giant Texas smash or a Delaware smash, creating like a huge shockwave through the city or through the fake city, and basically blowing every single thing in front of it and obliterating it with the giant shockwaves. And basically Deku at this time is basically summoning his entire army, and he basically summons his assassins, he summons his mages, he also summons his knights. They basically go around All Might, creating a circle, basically barricading him inside of there. So he ends up being distracted, and Igris, Nomu, and all the other Nomus, also including the first one, because this Nomu, the first one, was actually intelligent. No, not when it was alive, but when it was killed and Deku actually modified him, he actually made the Nomu intelligent. So he knows how to basically command his army, his own battalion, and basically he is smart this time. So basically the Nomu is actually using the brain that he actually has on his head. So yeah. So All Might is basically getting overwhelmed by the sheer number of fighters, knights, mages, and everything, because each time he basically destroys like a couple of them, they basically just regenerate and come back to him. And there's like the sheer number of them is amazing. There's like 1,000 of them, 1,000, no, let's say 500 knights, 500 mages, and 500 assassins, and let's say 10 commanders or generals. So the generals are basically like commanders like Igris, Tusk, Iron, the Nomu, which is smart, the first one. And yeah, basically the battalions are basically attacking All Might, and All Might's having a lot of hard time, because this time he's like, okay, this is actually getting really hard. So basically Principal Nezu shouts at All Might, you can take off your weights, you can go all out, because you're not just versing like a couple of wannabe heroes. These are actually really strong kids, and they have a really strong quirk. So by this time, when All Might takes off his weights, Deku and Bakugo have already made it out of the gate, and basically the buzzer goes off and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, you got distracted and stuff. And he's like, okay, that was really good, and all the shadows disappear. Igris, before like disappearing, Igris and all the other generals basically bow to All Might and basically disappear because they respect All Might because he's really strong. So, and they also respect him because their master also respects All Might. So there's like, okay, if our master respects him, we have to respect him too. So they basically bow and then they disappear. Okay, so I have like 3 minutes more, so I'm gonna basically go into the forest training camp. So everyone in class 1A is getting ready for the bus ride. They're in the bus, everybody's chatting around. Aizawa basically looks back, he's like, god damn it. He's like, okay, they better enjoy it because they're gonna have a hard time later. So basically the bus stops, they get out, they see this really black long car, and then the Wild Wild Pussycats come out of there. Mandela or Mandela, I forgot her name, but it's something starting with M, and Pixie Bob basically come out and they introduce themselves. Deku basically fanboys, and then they basically get trapped. Pixie Bob creates her Earth Flow quirk and basically drops every single person in class 1A into the, or in front of the Forest of Death. No, that's from Naruto. What is it called? It's basically the Forest of Death, or the Beast Forest. Yeah, the Beast Forest. So in front of the Beast Forest, she explains this is the Beast Forest, and now you have to basically get to the campsite in however many time it takes you. So everybody's like, ah, damn it. So of course, like in the anime, or actually, no. Does Deku have a teleportation ability? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a teleportation ability, but he does have some. He does have a Nomu that can fly. So he basically creates the Nomu that can fly, grabs onto his arms, and the Nomu basically flies for him. So he goes over the forest and completely over it, and he just lands there and pretty fast. And Pixie Bob and Mandela and Aizawa haven't even arrived there yet, and Deku's already there like cooking something or something, like has a campfire and stuff, and he's basically sitting there. And I think Uraka would like take this chance to grab onto Deku, because she knows like the only way to get out of this situation is by basically holding onto Deku. So she basically holds onto Deku's leg the whole way and makes herself light, so it doesn't really make it hard for the Nomu or anything. So basically they get there, Deku notices like, oh, Ruka, where'd you come from? He's like, did you fly? He's like, yeah, I did. I just grabbed onto you. And it's like, oh, I see. That was a sneaky move. And basically Bakugo also does this because he uses explosions to fly, just like in the anime. But his hands do get tired because the distance is pretty long and he had to take breaks in between. But Deku didn't really have to do that because he has that Nomu and he has like unlimited magic power. So yeah, even if he did run out of like let's say in a million years he did run out of magic power, he would have magic potions and he would just drink it on the way. So it would be pretty easy. And I think Deku would be kind enough to actually help his classmates. So he'd actually release all the Nomus. Any Nomus that do have flight abilities, they basically everybody basically grabs onto the flight ability. Nomu, whoever basically, if there's no more room, the others basically ride on the other Nomus that are basically giant and stuff. And there's also Tusk there, and there's also Tank, which is like a giant polar bear, and he moves really fast. So yeah, so everybody basically gets on that, and if they basically run into some beasts, the Tank and all the other Nomus basically take them down easily. And Pixie Bob basically notices this ability, and it's like, who's this ability? And she asks Zao, he's like, who's this like ghost shadow type ability? He's like, oh, it's Deku's ability. He's like, what's his ability? And he explains his ability. Mandela and everyone is like shocked at this overpowered ability, and they're like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys like, because it really does help the channel out. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and as always, Anime Junkie out.